This episode of the Coarse Grind Podcast has been brought to you by Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, family-owned and operated screen printing and embroidery business located in a historic storefront on Old Berwick Road in the heart of Espy. They've been doing screen printing for over 20 years. They have high-quality product at a low price. Be sure to check them out. Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, 570-784-1212. Now, on to the show.
Hi, it's Stephanie Smart from Top Chef Season 17 All-Stars. You're listening to Sean Rossler on the Coarse Grind Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Episode number 175 of the Coarse Grind Podcast, a very special one this evening. You will not believe who's here, but let's be fair for a minute. I know I've missed it, and pivot in the overall vibe of the show aside, and the response to it has been insane, don't get me wrong. I feel like you might have too. Now, I'm not referring to how I'm trying to grow my COVID beard round 2, but I was abruptly informed this evening that my wife thinks I'm unkissable, so thanks for that, Greta, but that'll go by the wayside soon. I am talking about Top Chef. Personal, shall we say, matters aside, Portland was a beyond enjoyable season, and I shit you not, 4 of my more preferred competitors came and went, and I thought, despite interviewing one of them, that would be it. I'm very glad when I'm wrong. These 4 superpowers came together to form a supergroup the likes of which, when Tom Morello and I don't remember who it was, came together and created that super band, whatever it was, well, these 4 came together to form the greatest supergroup Top Chef has ever known, the Eliminators. One you already know from a little show called the Coarse Grind Podcast. Go back a couple episodes, do some research. It won't kill you. And is rocking at post office pies as well as producing insane art. Look for the episode, people. It's right down the hall. Get it? Next, we have a Detroit-born chef, entrepreneur, food activist, community partner, and storyteller working to build a healthier, more equitable food system for all, who is legitimately a force to be reckoned with, having co-founded Folk, The Farmer's Hand, and Nesta Detroit. More on that later. Or if she wants to do a one-on-one episode with me, that'd be swell too. Next, we have chef and co-owner of Metzger Bar and Butchery, Brenner Pass, Black Lodge, and Lenny, who just happens to have 2 beard semifinals to her name, and exquisite taste in ink. I've recently gotten some myself. I gotta give props when they're due. And finally, we have the jet setter herself, having just gotten back from an extended stint in Italy, which we've given her no shit about, who rocks the home chef and Zoom class circuit, and will be rebooting her namesake focaccia biz this November. From 3 pictures, I now need a new keyboard, thanks to the drool. How's that for an intro, kids? 4 rock stars in and of their own right, together for one night only. F that. They can do a weekly show with me if they want. And honestly, sometimes as a host, I like to sit back and let people talk. And I have a feeling that won't be a problem tonight, although I do hope they let me get a couple questions in edgewise. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, the Top Chef Portland Wrecking Squad, better known as the Eliminators, Chef Roscoe Hall, Chef Kiki Louya, Chef Brittanny Anderson, and Chef Sasha Grumman. What's up, people? Holy shit, can I breathe? Okay. Is that enough? Can I hang up the mic? Can I go now? Am I done? Like, oh my lord. What is going on? I can't believe it. I have to pull the curtain back on the show a little bit, as I oftentimes do. You know, sometimes when you make a call, like for me, when was Steven Reichlin. When Steven Reichlin called my cell phone, I'm like, what the fuck? What's happening? I gotta say I had a moment like this tonight because we're doing this via FaceTime audio. Tech people, you know how good it sounds. And I see not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 of my favorites pop up. And I'm like, this is like my birthday. I'm going home. I'm done. This is all I need. And yet you're here. To you. You're here. I want to talk to you all and I want to let you all talk. And, real quick, listeners, new to the program, I know we just got a shit ton more over from the Opie Radio page, from the Chef Carl Ruiz tribute pages. So thank you for those. Glad to hear you. Glad you are hearing me. I can't even talk. You get what I'm saying. Thank you for. I'm intimidated.
Calm down, birthday boy.
Yeah. But seriously, thanks for joining. We're going to go through starters, talk about where the guests in question came from, what brought them to present state. We'll talk about the mains, where we're at presently, what we're doing, what's the 5-year plan. And finally, afters, a little bit more reverent, a little bit more off the cuff. Folks who are regular listeners, format's going to be different, but don't worry, it'll all be okay. So, Roscoe, I'm going to kick it over to you, buddy, because you've been here before, and we'll, maybe do the short form of it. If folks want to listen to Roscoe's episode, awesome listening. I encourage you to do so.
I don't think we talked about food at all.
We didn't, yeah. We just talked about art and general societal annoyances. So I'll kick it over to Roscoe first to kind of tee it up, to kind of show the rest of you the ropes. Roscoe, tell us again where and what you grew up eating.
I grew up eating Mexican, lots of Mexican, lots of Polish. Obviously good soul food with Midwestern products, if you will. Mm-hmm. A lot of government cheese sandwiches and fried bologna. It's that good shit. Chinese food. I was spoiled. I mean, in Chicago, we ate everything. I was lucky in that sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Let me kick it over to Kiki. Talk to us. Tell us about where and what you grew up eating.
I'm kind of similar to Roscoe. I grew up in Detroit. So, pretty much everything. My mom's from the South, so a little bit of Southern food, Midwestern, ingredients, lots of Chinese food. We didn't do government cheese. You were a little bit bougier than that.
Bougie.
Although respect. We did eat, so my dad's from the Congo. We ate a lot of Congolese food too growing up. So that was me.
All right, do me a favor, just for listeners who are unfamiliar, what exactly does Congolese food involve? What does that consist of?
So Congolese food is lots of fish, depending on what part of the Congo you're from. So some of it is like salted, but lots of fish, lots of meat, kind of like beefy, gamey meat. Lots of peanuts. We do peanuts. We do tomatoes. I grew up eating sardines, which was not Congolese at all, but it was
LCK shout out.
Yeah, that is
right. And rice. Yeah. Rice all day long.
Right on.
Rice with every single meal. Yeah, lots of rice.
That's fantastic.
Stews. We did stews.
Stews. Okay. Stews in the mix too. Awesome. So hey, those of you playing bingo at home, put a stamp on learned new shit today, because I know I did. Brittany, talk to us. Where and what did you grow up eating?
I grew up eating kind of a lot of Southern food, really. That's my family's from Virginia. We grew up on the water in the Chesapeake Bay, so crabs, fish, lots of
oysters.
Fish. What'd you say? Oysters, yes. Oysters all over the place. Still eat them. Still have my little oyster necklace. And then I had a single mom, so lots of rice-a-roni and hamburger helper, because
speak on that.
Trying to keep us alive. So
yeah. No, absolutely. It's so funny how many folks that I have on, and they always hesitate, especially when it's one-on-one. You all know each other's stories already, but they're always well, I know it's going to sound weird. I'm like, sweetheart, it's been 7 years. Nothing's weird anymore. And I guarantee you, I know what you're going to say. And they tee up with something like that. And I'm like, well, no shit. I mean, that's the majority. And a lot of times, and I'd love to dig into this later, Brittany, is that maybe what pushed you towards culinary as a realm to express yourself in? Something to think about. Maybe in a therapist's chair. We can do that later too. I'm only 100 an hour. But before we get into
I need some therapy, I tell you.
Oh, me too. Everybody does. I need it more than ever before. I've got 3 kids. I blame them. Sasha, talk to me about where and what you grew up eating.
I grew up in Orange County in Southern California, so I grew up eating lots of seafood, but it was a big, Italian scene. That was where we would go out. If we went out to dinner, we would go either our favorite Italian place or we would go to a sushi place. But, don't get me wrong, my favorite comfort meal is macaroni and cheese, and that's because Mom threw that down plenty of times.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Like, that is like the ultimate comfort food for me, for sure. But it was all like pretty classic food. It wasn't anything like, I feel like I wasn't surrounded by a ton of different like ethnically diverse food, because Orange County, as most of the world knows, is pretty one-dimensional in that way with food. So I'm like, sorry for everybody out there, but y'all know it. Look at you saying y'all. So like, it took me like.
She did say y'all.
Yeah, she did say y'all.
I'm basically from Texas, and I've been here for 3 years. I am allowed to say that now.
I love how Roscoe's laugh is like the precursor to shitting on her. It's like, no, is it okay? Is it okay? Now it is.
I knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
Holy shit.
So
oh my god.
That's my story.
Oh my god. All right. Shit. I didn't think my stomach was going to be this hurting already. All right. So let's go in reverse. The follow up to that typically is, looking at where you all are, and you're all just amazing in your own right. I stand in awe, and I say this, frequently, although maybe not this directly and not this times 4. I stand in awe of what you do. I love what you do collectively. It is art, it is science, it is everything combined. So I wonder, what was the match strike? When was the moment that you went, oh shit, wait a minute. Not only do I like eating or, like this about it, but this is what I want to do with my life. And I'll go in reverse order, to give everybody breathing room. Except for you, Sasha. We're going to go right back to you.
I'm like, okay, here we go.
So right back to you, Sasha. When was it you realized?
Gosh, it was really later on in life. I always enjoyed cooking. Like, I would watch Emerald like a freak. Like, it was my dream to sit at his table and, like, eat his food and be there for the live show and, like, watch him bam in person. But I actually, nobody in my life was really a chef or a cook or involved in the restaurant industry, so I never, like, had that in my brain as a potential job. It was just, like, a passion for me. And then after college, I graduated with a degree that doesn't have, like, a certain end goal as a job. And I moved home and I started coaching field hockey, and I just started cooking a lot. And my dad would, like, really motivate me to, like, make lists and find recipes I wanted to cook. And he really, like, fostered that part of me that was, like, being really creative. Yeah. And he saw that as valuable, like, really early on. And there was one day where I was looking into photography school, and then my sister was like, why don't you look into culinary school? And I was like, say what? I was like, people do this for real jobs. I was like, that's crazy. I never thought about it for me. But then I started looking into culinary schools, and I found a perfect program. And the second I got to culinary school, I was completely obsessed. Nice. And I knew that was exactly where I should be.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it really turns into such a catch-all almost. Roscoe, I'll lean on you a little bit just because I know, like, art leading to culinary. There's all these paths that make sense because it's such, like, it's a vital life act. Like, my 11-year-old is absolutely hell-bent. He's going to CIA. He's not playing, man. He's in it. He's actually the youth ambassador for this product, Eat to Explore. It's a home, cooking program. And I interviewed the CEO, and they're like, hey, does Chaz want to be like a brand ambassador for us? And I'm like, get the fuck out, really? And I just realized on air, I have to produce his video that he did for UK tonight. He did chicken tikka skewers tonight. And so I'll, it's amazing. But like, there's so many paths that lead that way. So speaking of paths, let's go over to Brittanny. How'd your path end up here?
Well, I grew up with my dad loves restaurants. Like, I sat at a bar with my dad since I was like 5 years old, eating rum raisin ice cream while he drank beer.
Oh my god!
Rum raisin ice cream.
And that really like kind of set me on this path of just always loving restaurants, wanting to be in restaurants. I love that I get to throw a party every night and people are there for special moments and that I get to be a part of. That's like my favorite thing. So I always worked in restaurants since I was like 14.
and I didn't know I wanted to be a chef. I was a front of house person. I was a server. I was a bartender. And then I started getting, to eat. And then I started to just be really competitive and want to just be able to do everything. I was like, I could do that. Like the other day I was actually, Kiki, remember we were at a table the other day and someone was like talking about skateboarding. I was like, I need to learn to skate. You're like, I could do that.
Oh, Jesus.
I literally just want to do everything and be the best at it. It's like very I'm competitive that way. But so I asked if I could cook. I started cooking for free on my days off, and one day the chef told me that my shitty Caesar salad looked awesome, and it was like the best day of my life, and I was like, oh my God, I'm a chef now.
Nice.
And I went to culinary school, same culinary school as Sasha, and I think we were actually there around the same time, too.
I know. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then,
that's crazy.
I graduated top of my class in culinary school. I was really obnoxious, and then I wanted to open a restaurant. It's like that's kind of how it all came. I wanted to go back to that thing, that feeling that happens when you're in restaurants, that you get to make the coolest party. So that's what I did.
I love how you frame that. That's so. It's not that I haven't heard a variation on that theme before, but I've never heard it delivered so deliberately. I get to throw a party every night. And honestly, the little stints that I do here and there, when I get to go, when I get to cook, when I get to go, do whatever, pretend to be a superhero, which is what I like to tell people. When I strap, the knife bag on and I have the Coarse Grind Podcast chef jacket on, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretending tonight. But it feels like you're throwing everybody else a party. And, I always find it funny, and I'm sure you get asked it way more, is when they ask you, oh, doesn't it feel like work? Well, yeah, it feels like work. But again, to your point, I love how just deliberately you laid it out. You get to throw a party every night. That's bitchin'. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely work. Obviously, we are, I think a lot of times people get twisted that we are just living it up 24/7.
Yeah.
And while we can, it's not always the most best for you. No. So you have to be pretty careful. And I get to live vicariously through all my guests who are having a blast every night.
There it is.
That's, it's a great feeling.
There it is. There it is. Kiki, talk to us.
God, I never know how to answer. I want to do it as succinct and deliberate as you did, Brittany, because my answers are always very long. But let's see, I started working in restaurants when I was 15 years old. I always loved it. I loved the culture. I did it all throughout undergrad. And I actually left undergrad for a year, just to work in a restaurant. And my parents almost had a heart attack. Oh, no. And were like, what are you doing with your life? And I said, I really like what I do. I really like, and at that point I was actually front of the house. I wasn't cooking yet. I said, I just love what I'm doing. I just love restaurants. And they did not think it was a career choice. And they said, you're a really smart girl. So get your shit together. Yeah. And so I went back to school before they would kick me out for, not attending. And I finished. And then at that point, my parents really only think that there are 4 careers. It's business, engineering, law, and medicine. And so my sister's laughing in the background. She's in the other room cracking up. And
she's true.
Yeah, she's preach, girl, preach. So I had to pick one. And initially I was going to do medicine. And then I really hated it after one semester of pre-med. And so I graduated with a degree in political science and a minor in philosophy, because that was going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really into Marxism, you guys. Yeah. And my dad was like, great. He's like, you can be a lawyer. And I was like, great, I'll be a lawyer. And so what I did was I just doubled and tripled up on jobs. I worked in kitchens, I worked at farmers markets, I did a bunch of stuff, but then I also did 9 to 5 at nonprofits. And then I allegedly studied for the LSAT. And I did that for probably about 6 or 7 years. I was the worst LSAT student.
I like how she peppers it with allegedly. I can see the hangers. Allegedly.
Allegedly. I actually feel bad.
People might believe or not.
If my dad is listening, I was studying very hard. For everyone else out there, I was so not. It got to a point that I was just tired. Like, I was just tired of, like, I felt like I was living a lie. I felt like I was not living my truth. I was living a lie. I hated going to work every single day, 9 to 5 at that point, like, which is interesting. I do that sometimes now, but it feels different because what I'm doing is, like, with restaurants and with food versus, like, you know, with a cause that I don't really care about all that much.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of similarities, I think, between like nonprofit work and like hospitality, which is essentially that, you know, you are thinking about people in the sense where it's like, how can I serve you? Like literally, how can I be a servant to you? How can I serve you? And like, so that's a common thread, that I try to carry. But yeah, I was later in life. I went to culinary school. I was 29 years old. I'm a little older now. No, just a little bit, girl. Just a little. That's a tad. But like Brittanny, I was like, well, shit. Like this was the first time that I left New York. I moved to Chicago. I went to Cordon Bleu in Chicago. I paid for it myself. I got a bunch of scholarships. I kicked ass. I graduated with a 4.0 and I was like, let's do this. Yeah. And that was I had made that moment where I just couldn't like continue to live as though I was going to be a lawyer. Yeah. I was not, y'all.
Shit. I'm so glad you're not a lawyer.
Thank you, me too. That shit would like drain my soul.
Yeah. I concentrated in law, and I was like, hell no.
No. God, I mean, already we're just barely 20 minutes in, and there's so many like sound bites. Like honestly, I know, culinary students, I see you out there. Thank you for listening. Listen to what's being said, man, because if it's not your truth, man, it's time to go. It's time to walk. Like, don't do that to yourself. I'm 44. Look at that. I just dropped my age on air. Who gives a shit? And I have not lived my truth a lot professionally, and it only brings negative, man. So live that truth. Be about that. Be about yourself. Speaking of self, speaking of selves and stories, Roscoe, bring them up to speed. If they're too lazy to go back and listen to the other episodes, shame on you if you are. Tell them about why you picked what you picked, sir.
I think I picked food. Let's see. I can't stop thinking about the word Marxism.
You know I had to come with it, Roscoe.
Ruined it with the poli-sci.
That's where I'm at. I chose food because, it kind of chose me. Like, I was a little punk kid, and I saw a bunch of skaters had jobs at kitchens, and I wanted it. I wanted some money. Kept me out of trouble, and then I realized I could learn something and go to undergrad, which means I'd always have food at the restaurant.
Yep.
And money.
Survivalist.
I go to school.
I love it.
And fuck around and, like, party with chicks and shit.
Yep.
However, I did finish undergrad, and I just used cooking to, like, get me through education. While learning so much about fucking food, but I treated it as if it was just like, it was early, man. Like, I used to have to send letters to restaurants to, like, ask to, like, get a job, you know what I mean? Like, maybe they'd call me, or maybe my phone bill would still be, you know what I mean? Maybe I'd have an apartment.
Yeah. God, that's crazy. Well, I mean, hey, listen, all those skaters, Brittanny is ready and willing to show them what's up. So,
line me up.
Way to go.
Let's go.
Brittanny's like, yo, let's go. I can nollie. I can 180 backslide.
Who am I kidding? I can't.
I got this.
I will pay to see Brittanny ollie tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I will Amazon you a fucking skateboard. Just to make it happen.
I would rename this the Brittanny Anderson Podcast. I will rename this shit officially. If Brittanny does an ollie and catches it on video, this will officially be the Brittanny Anderson Coarse Grind Podcast from that point forward. It will be renamed.
I'm okay with that.
We can make this happen.
Sit on air. See, and this is, again, folks listening, this is why, like, this is why I do what I do. And especially when I can get not one, but 4 rock stars on to tell their stories. Like, you listen to that, it's so differentiated. In just how they got to where they are when you see them on that screen, perceiving them through the magic editing lens, if you will. And we know there's a lot to be said for that. But with that said, let's fast forward now. Let's talk about, here you are, your successes, you're awesome, you're rock stars. I love you all. collectively and in a non-threatening fashion. With that said, well, let's talk about present day, how you stay inspired doing what it is you do. And I'm going to kind of skip the order around a little bit here to give some other folks some breathing room and go to Brittanny first. Talk to me about what inspires Brittanny Anderson. Like, when you set out to do the good culinary shit, what is it that makes you just feel alive?
It's interesting because I've been thinking about this quite a bit lately, but, like, for me, it's my teams. It's, like, the culture of my... Kiki and I talk about culture a lot. I think it's what I kind of do best, is, like, creating a group of people who love working together and we all inspire each other. That's very important to me. And then, beyond that, I feel very lucky to live where I live in Virginia with amazing produce, gorgeous farms, gorgeous seafood, all the time. So really, ingredients inspire me a lot. Like, that's part of why I feel like Top Chef was really challenging for me, because the ingredients are not very nice that they give you. You don't have a connection to them or where they came from. It's more just like, here you go, make it, and that's not how I cook. That's not my process. I like to,
or have other people shop for us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Yeah.
definitely really challenging. Yeah. So for me, ingredients, people, and, and place, seasonality, like what's happening in life right now.
Right on. Kick it over to Kiki. How about you? What kind of sparks your battery?
I think similar. For me, it's definitely people. And I think, like, even taking it one step further, because, like, Brittanny and I, like she mentioned, we talk a lot about, like, creating culture within a restaurant. And I think, and also just, like, doing right by the people who you employ and making sure that you create, like, a positive work environment for them where they feel supported. And there's, like, opportunities for advancement, right? And that obviously bleeds into the food, but even more than that, I think about community, and I think about that in, Detroit, especially because we're kind of like, we have a bad rap around the country, we all know it. And for a long time, I think a lot of us Detroiters had a chip on our shoulder, because it's like, well, all right, then I'll be that. Like, if you're going to tell me that, I'm a piece of shit, then whatever, I'll be that. Like, I will. But at the same time, it's like, we deserve good food. We deserve access to food. We deserve, a good way of life. We deserve to, get together and enjoy each other's company. We deserve to plant gardens. We deserve to share that food with other people. And so I think about that a lot in terms of, like, community and healing my city, and how we do that by coming together and finding ways to enjoy this thing that, like, connects us all. So yeah, that's what inspires me.
Wow. Yeah.
Do right by Detroit.
Wow. That's
The D.
Yeah. Not the Lions. Like, as soon as you started getting defensive about Detroit, I'm like, yeah, the Lions do suck. But that's just me over here. I'm sorry. I'm a Steelers fan. Leave me alone.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I am a Steelers fan. Have you watched us lately?
I watched them lose today.
This is like, we have 6 rings. If I hear one more goddamn Steelers fan go, but we have 6 rings, I'm going to find 6 rings to shove up you sideways. Like, shut up. Like, you can't lean on that anymore. The days are over.
The Patriots,
and
man.
you can't sit on that anymore.
Oh, God. It's so... And now the Buccaneers, Brady's... Wow, why are we going football? This is a food podcast. Go. Switch, shift gears, dummy.
I will. We could do
it. But it's, like, I love a lot of what you said, a lot of what the podcast does. Like, we have live events. Well, we used to have live events. Hopefully we're having one coming up soon. That might be a little spilling of the tea. But we work with local food banks and to help promote food literacy. Local exec chefs and I collab on creating recipe sheets to give. Cause like, if people are going to food banks, they're not getting necessarily the main thoroughfare of food that would be logical and easy to make. It's going to be more challenging ingredients. So we go in and we look at them and we go, okay, what could they make with this shit? Let's meat over drinks, because that's always a good way to do it. But no, I feel everything you just said completely, Kiki. Thank you for sharing that. Let's go over to you, Roscoe. What inspires you, buddy?
To be quite honest, nothing lately. It's been like, to speak on the culture aspect of the restaurant industry, it's really fucking complicated.
Sure.
What's inspiring me is to teach myself how to like listen to people. Here's what it is. I'm missing the experience of sharing like a good time, like education.
I feel that. Yep. Yep.
The innards have worn Roscoe thin. I'm creating a culture that is brand new of people who've never cooked, and I have to give them a lot more money and like time to themselves. While I feel like I'm having to work again, like I was 23. You know.
I feel
See,
that.
Roscoe, I think that's like what we were saying earlier. You're talking about if like your cup's not full, how can you fill their cup?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I mean, that's what I'm doing and shit. But you know me, I get fucking tired. Like, I have to have surgery in 3 weeks. And my fucking Achilles tendon. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm just.
I mean, first of all, it's a muscle named off of a mythical character. So I mean,
I know. That's the only thing that keeps me moving these days. Yeah. But culture, what inspires me is educating people.
Yeah.
And creating this beautiful culture, but the inspiration now is really deep within.
And you know what, dude? That's I hear you, and that's so valid, and I feel that because like I think actually when you and I talked about becoming a maker during COVID because like I felt like I was going stern. I'm like, shit, where do I find purpose? And it wasn't the purpose outside of the house like it once was. It had to come from within. And so like, I started slinging hot sauces and growing peppers in my gardens and brewing instead of one batch of no shit. I used to brew 5 gallons of beer a year. The first year of COVID, isn't that a shitty thing to say? First year of COVID, I brewed 6 batches of 5 gallons. So I went 30 gallons deep, and it was just like, if I don't do this, I don't feel me. I don't know who I am. And so I hear you. You're loud and clear, dude. And it'll feel right. I truly believe it'll feel right.
Like I got the handle on it, and everyone who does work with me is very fucking happy and stoked. There's never a bad day. You know what I mean?
I can't imagine there ever being a bad day with you, dude.
There's never a bad day, but
no.
When I'm at home getting stoned, I can turn on some Teddy Pendergrass and think about that shit.
And then you put it into magical art on canvases.
Oh my god.
That's what's keeping. Oh yeah, that's the inspiration, I guess.
Yeah, I legitimately saw the piece you put up on Instagram today, and I thought I gotta commission him to like do something because I would love to have it down here. I have this piece of Bourdain. I just got a piece from Carl Ruiz. A piece of, not from Carl Ruiz. Wouldn't that be amazing? Of Carl Ruiz. Thanks for that, Mike. LeBron. Really appreciate that. And so, like, I'm kind of surrounding myself by art to remind me why it is I'm doing what I do. And, yeah, we'll talk for sure, buddy. Sasha, what inspires you besides long trips to Italy? See what I did there? Shots fired. Blah, 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 blah.
I feel that anger, whatever that is. It's on you. It's not on me.
I'm sorry. I'm not really angry. I like you a lot. You're awesome. Okay.
Can't even see your face. I don't really know what the truth is.
That's why I do it this way.
So, I think I was in a hamster wheel for the first 8 years of my career.
Yeah.
Much like everybody in here, like, my goal was always to be the best. It was always, that was the option. Like, be the best or be the best. And it wasn't like my parents, like, really put that on me, but, like, I was a captain of every sports team I was on. I was a captain that was younger than the seniors. And, it was like, that was how I lived my life. And then culinary school, like, top of my class as well.
Okay.
Like, moved up the chain really quickly in my first restaurant. And it was like, that was the only option. They had to, like, kick me out because they were like, you can't be a manager. You're a child. Like, you don't know anything. And I was like, but I deserve this. And you're like, bitch, you don't deserve anything. You've been in the industry for like 4 minutes. And so for me, it was always like, be the best, be the best, be the best. And, you know, when I took my last exec chef job, it was like the title exec chef, a salary where I was like, wow, I'm finally getting paid what I deserve to get paid. Like, I can make 6 menus. I can run 6 concepts. I can open up a hotel with 250 rooms. Like, I can run a team of 75 people. Like,
Jesus.
What the actual fuck was I doing?
No.
And so after COVID happened, you know, I got furloughed and then I got let go. And it was like, okay, like, I have it on a piece of paper. I wish I could find it right now. The question is, what makes me feel alive? Because, you know, COVID hit everybody in like a crazy way. And for me, it was like, what do I love about this job?
Yeah.
And for me, I couldn't think of something truly, truly important other than the people. If you take the people out of it, like, what did I love about my job?
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't write anything down. And so I've thought about the things in the past that really, really inspired me and made me feel connected to my craft. And I think, like everybody here, it's getting outside of the kitchen is also so important while still practicing your job.
Yeah.
Like, my job, my title is chef, whatever it is. I don't care. Like, I'm a person that cooks. And the places I feel most alive are doing events outside, traveling, like taking advantage of this freedom I have in my life where, like, I don't have a partner. I am a single person. Like, I have my own business now. Like, I started a business. Like, what? Like, that's like wild to me. If you asked me a year ago, you're like, you're going to start a business and it's going to be focused on a bread product. I'd be like, you're high. I didn't know what you're out here and say. And now it's like, holy shit, I'm like going to be shipping next month. I don't know what's going on. This is amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think the inspiration comes from connections to farmers, being outside, doing events like Outstanding in the Field, like connecting with people that grow the products that you are cooking is like really everything to me. You know, I got a phone call a couple months ago and he's like, hey, this is the guy that you're getting your cattle from for your Outstanding Field dinner. I was like, am I literally talking to my rancher about how to butcher cows? I'm like, what is going on? This is amazing.
Yeah, I love that. I love every single bit of that.
That conversation, you walk away and you're like just blown the fuck away by like the fact that like this is my life. Like I love this so much.
Yeah. God damn.
And so I don't know, my inspiration is just like constantly evolving and constantly growing. But for me, being outside of the 4 walls that is typical of a chef, or what we've always thought of a chef to be, is not where I see myself right now.
No, I feel that. That's incredible. And you know what's funny that you said that I instantly related to, you know, as you're talking about, you know, talking to the rancher, talking to the source and everything, it reminds me that connection, you know, we could call it so many things, but that connection is exactly what has put me in motion for 7 years. And to be looking at my phone, I'm going to keep echoing this, folks. I'm looking at my phone and I'm seeing 4 people. I'm like, oh my God, they're beyond amazing and their stories are amazing and they're sharing them with me. This is ridiculous. Just having that connection inspires. I think you can keep moving if you have that connection to your why. I think that's it. Isn't it Simon Sinek said start with why? Why do you do what you do? And it's I was
going to say, I think our connection with each other has been really inspiring for me since the show.
Brittanny, hang on to that segue. I'll throw it right over to you. Hold on. In 5, 4, 3. So we've got 4 different stories here. I'm reading from my script right now. And you converge. Like, this is amazing. I love the fact that you picked up on that. I didn't even have to ask the question. She's there.
She's good.
All right, so I'm going to get out of the way right now. So that connection segue was exactly what I wanted y'all to do, because I'm looking at the 4 of you and it is honestly one of the greatest assemblages ever of human beings in the culinary profession. I love every single one of you for unique ways, and again, in unthreatening ways. I want to mention that. But Brittanny, go. Talk to me about how that connection to you four inspired you, and then just go around the room. I don't give a shit. Go. Wait a minute. Do the hand heart. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, I think I got it. There we go.
It's like
Do it
the
one more.
lamest thing I've ever
Oh no! Do it again. Ready? 1, 2, hand heart. Beautiful. Oh yeah, he's got a heart up.
My face this
I love
it.
Roscoe, again, because this is an audio show, Roscoe just put art up. So, Brittanny, take it away. Why the four of you? Why does it make sense?
Well, it's funny because when we were filming the show, I don't know that we all connected as tightly as we did until after we were all eliminated. That was the moment that we all super just were it was a immediate bonding that was it's very hard to explain. I basically didn't talk to anyone but these people for 2 months after that show. My husband was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm talking to the Eliminators." I'm like, no one else understands me.
Brittanny would be like, Chel's kind of mad. I need to go to bed. I'm like, I gotta get off the phone.
But I think that, there's a shared bond in being the first four to go home for sure. It's not, obviously we all talk about how we're competitive. We want to be the best. And then we did that and we didn't we didn't do the best, but we did ourselves. And I think when we one of the things about the show too is I feel like all four of us, I think we all were really honest in ourselves on the show. We came off that way. And then once we were eliminated, we really connected over our disparate experiences that are actually incredibly similar. And you find out things about people that I don't know that you would unless you go through that experience together. And I'm not sure we would have ever met, the four of us, but it's changed my life and it's created the ultimate inspiration and growth. Just knowing the three of y'all, I have grown so much, and it's an incredible gift.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, don't stop.
Oh, here we go. Oh, people can't see the tears. Let's go. All right, so whoever's not crying right now should pick it up and run with it.
I think so. When I got down there to that 7th floor, it was it was traumatic, man. It was fucking low, and to know that, literally when it happened, my first thought was, Roscoe's there, though. And, it's gonna be okay. Because, what's really funny is that Roscoe's the first person I fucking made eye contact with. In your chef coat, standing by the elevator, and we were going down to our car because we were riding together with Jamie, and I looked at you, and they're like, no speaking, no talking, don't say anything to anybody, and I looked at you, and I was like, dude, we're fucking doing this. And you're like, we're doing this. it was the best moment. And it was I don't know. I've actually never thought about the connection of those two moments. But the connection of me seeing you first and feeling comfort from you in that moment. And then having that same exact feeling when I got eliminated, knowing that you would be there.
That's crazy.
And
you tried to get me
crazy?
to laugh, and I thought I was going to go to jail or something because they made us be quiet so much.
And then when I saw Brittanny, and then I saw Kiki, and it was just there was magical comfort in the four of us knowing that we wish nothing but the best for each other. We knew we were fucking down to be truthful and to be ourselves. And there was no conversation that was awkward. We fell into this automatic friendship rhythm that like Brittanny said, it's hard to put words to it. We just fucking click and we get on and here we are. And the Eliminators was we got eliminated, but we're gonna turn this into fucking superheroes because we are superheroes for being here, and we are the fucking Eliminators, and we're going to destroy this world, and we're going to fucking tear it all down and build it back, and we're going to make it fucking right.
All of that.
Okay?
We made so much artwork. Like, we made, like, Eliminators tour posters, Eliminators.
Okay.
Like,
This is what I'm asking. I want some of this to hang down here in the studio. That would be amazing. And like so bad. Like, and honestly, I feel like the Nick Fury of the. If you're a Marvel fan, you get the Nick Fury reference. If you're not, it's the guy. It's Professor X of the X-Men. Maybe you get that one. Like, and here I have like literally Beast, Cyclops, Jean Grey. I've got them all here. And it like legitimately is. Oh, look at that!
Is it saying, give me some more?
Wait, now I gotta get mine.
Oh my god, I wish
Things.
folks listening at home,
That's
I wish you
cool,
could see
man.
this. Sasha's showing
just
artwork.
Shit.
Oh, it's amazing.
That shit.
Oh,
Let me
it's
get mine.
Hold
Hold on.
Oh, just, I don't have shit.
See that?
Y'all niggas come
We're
back
literally
here.
gonna do a show. But like, I mean,
Way up, Sasha.
it's so funny if we go back seasons. I've had Chef 2 David Fu on several times.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome! Look at that. And
That's when Portland was burning down.
oh yeah.
I have COVID Ghost Tour somewhere.
Oh my god, that's all.
Yeah.
And anyway, Chef 2 gave me a quote the one night. I said, hey, you've been really helpful because he was helping me like promote and everything. And he was from Top Chef. He made it like midway of the season, whatever. I said, why are you helping me? And he goes, dude, I'm going to tell you something we know in the culinary industry, and it's real attracts real. And that statement has never left the fiber of my being. And I know that like any night, I was actually trying to cut lemongrass the one night, and I picked up my phone and I stopped. I'm like, I'm not going to text too. Look at that!
That's a good one.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
That's
Good
amazing.
I love it.
Dude, people at home are dying right now. They're like, what are they looking at? Oh well, tough shit. I'm the host. I get to see it. But that real attracts real. I think that's why the four of you are where you are. And that's why you can like lean on each other in that time that you thought was going to be like dark and awful and nasty. And like, look at you. The four of you came out. So, Kiki, like, why these other three? Why them?
I mean, I think, you explained it. I remember when you first get eliminated, it feels like your heart is ripped out. You just, and like, they immediately, put a camera in your face and like, do you want to talk about it? And you're like bawling. You're like, fuck off. Like, what are you talking about? And then they like, shoot you into this like, and they're like, do you want food? And you can't even breathe because you're like crying so hard. And like, I don't want to eat. I don't want to do anything. And then, you get into like this hotel room, at least on our season you do. And you get in this hotel room and I will never forget. So no one was supposed to know that I was down there. They're supposed to keep it a secret. I shouldn't. Well, whatever. I'll just say it. Yeah, I'm like, fuck it. You're not supposed to know that like I'm down there. Anyone who gets eliminated because you're supposed to go on Last Chance Kitchen. It's supposed to be a surprise. Well, I think it was you, Brittanny, because your room was right next to mine, and you're like, "Is that Kiki?" And I was like, "Hi!" And they took me up to the other floor, and we had happy hour, and we twerked, and we listened to Cardi B, and like we had the best fucking time. And then they were like, "Okay, well, everyone knows that you're here, so you can hang out sometimes, but not forever, because the other producers can't know that they know."
Oh my god!
So I would sneak out of my room and hang out with them in the hallway, and then crawl back in for like a week. Then we filmed Last Chance Kitchen. Literally a week. And like I would like listen for like when everyone was outside, but like the thing is, it sounds crazy.
They wound up putting tape by your door, fucking peephole, and we kept like looking out them.
I know. It was so true. I was just like, I would hear you guys like screaming in the hall, and I would like peek my head out, like, "You're out there? Is so and so out here too? Okay, it's the coast is clear." But it literally felt like a warm hug. And like from going to like what feels like the bottom of all bottoms. Like, you literally just disappointed, like, yourself, your family, your ancestors.
Everybody.
Everybody who knows who's ever cooked with you before. You're like, I literally just, like, bombed on national TV, and you will see this, and you have been floor with these folks, and I literally felt like it was a warm hug. Like, everything was okay. Like, it was all literally going to be okay.
Yeah.
And then they had all been through it too. So, like, you're just going through all these emotions. And, like, I think that the fact that we all not only, like, could fall on each other and, like, land on each other, but also, like, you don't typically meet people in this industry who are without ego.
Oh,
who
God,
are incredibly honest and real, who've been through similar things like you, who think about the industry and, like, the ways that, like, what they love about it, but also how they want it to be different. Like, you don't talk about these things a lot of the time. And, like, we all just, like, spilled it. Like, it was, like, honesty from, like, moment one, and, like, I have your back regardless. And, like, I feel like Brittany said it was a gift. Like, it literally is a gift. Like, these people are, like, my family, and they always will be. I fucking love them so much. And, like,
that's fantastic.
I know.
I'm gonna roll back the stone. You're all revealing stuff. I'm not gonna lie, not that this is a big reveal or anything, like the 4, like, fucking superstars I have on here right now. I didn't watch after the 4th one of you went home. I turned it off. And we will talk off air about a similar casting situation that fell through last round with somebody who's on this call, not any of the 4 I'm looking at. And that kind of poisoned my well as well. You might be aware of a new show that happened that I might have fit into.
Oh, Amateurs.
Yeah, no! I have no idea what you're talking about. Moving on.
You know, they call me the detective. Sasha calls me the detective. So I figure out. She gets all the fucking secrets, and she gets all the details. So, unless you're in Brittany's inner circle like us, She's gonna get you.
She's gonna get you.
She's gonna get your darkest secrets, and she's gonna remember them.
Well, yeah, she's, but she's completely wrong. Whoever from legal is listening, she's wrong. So this, I have to roll back a bit and just say, like, to hear the 4 of you, honestly, my 4 faves from the season, like, roll like that and hear how much you have each other's back speaks to the legitimacy of real attracting real. You all got each other. That's amazing. And I mean, this is the only reason, like, I reached out to Roscoe. I'm like, yo, like, what do you think about the Eliminators, like, reunion? And Roscoe's instantly doesn't bat an eye. He's like, man, I'll make it happen. Boom. The intro happens. And all of a sudden, well, we had to wait for Sasha to get back. But aside from that, it was really easy to schedule.
Paradise Girl, it's all good.
Just waiting for that joke to get old.
Yeah, well, you might be waiting a while. But you are back in Texas too, so I feel like karma kind of works out. So with all that said, like, honest to God, the 4 of you, again, I can't fanboy enough. Some, like, my favorites from the season, my favorite group ever. I want to know what the 4 of you are like looking at. Like, we know what you're doing today, but, like, what's the future hold? If you know, and if you don't, who gives a shit? Like, we're at a weird place in time and space and everything right now, so I guess we don't have to know. So, Sasha, let's start with you. Like, I know you're rocking, the private chef gig. I know Sasha's focaccia. What does that look like? Like, talk to me.
So, for the first time in my life, I have a 2-year plan, a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan.
Love that.
And, it's, once again, I owe a lot of it for this forced break in my career and, reflection. And for me, I set a goal at the beginning of this year where I said, in January 2021, I want a year and a half, and I want to be shipping my focaccia nationwide. And it's now almost been a year, but I'm going to start shipping next month.
Love that.
I'm going to work out the kinks so that by a year and a half, I will be shipping seamlessly, and I will have a smooth operating system where it's on autopilot, and that's my goal. And
Nice.
for me, being a competitive person, of course I want to finish that goal before the 2 years is up.
Sure.
So I'm pushing it for the end of this month. 5 years, I want to start building my restaurants in California.
Yeah.
And I have 3 projects, and within the next 10 years, I want to open up 3 of my restaurants. You got this.
Yeah, dude, totally. I mean, listen.
Yes.
If anybody's got it, Sasha, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all Italy joking aside, you've got this. Kiki.
Thank you.
Yeah. Kiki, talk to us. What do you got?
Snap. I feel I need to have a 10-year plan. I'm not there yet.
No, I don't have
I'm like, shit, Sasha,
I don't
you're
have
not
a 2-5-10.
swinging.
I don't have a tomorrow plan, I'll be honest, if that helps anybody out.
I'm like, I'll wake up and...
Yeah, there you go. Step one.
And we're going to survive today.
Right,
That's all. That's all you got to do.
So part of my plan is that I'm not done with restaurants, and I'm not done with restaurants in Detroit. So, and this time, I did it my way before, but I really want to lean into what it looks like to, this is probably going to sound like a real big pipe dream, but build generational wealth. I think a lot about how we kind of just work for people, and we never necessarily get the opportunity to start something of our own. And for a lot of people, myself included, at one point it was a dream. And I feel like, I've lived a lot of my dream. Like I've gotten to where I'd love to be. My name is out there. I'm happy with it. And now it's time to start to bring some people up. And so that's what I want to start to do, is start to figure out if I can create a structure, and a community of businesses, if you want to call it that, where people can start to gain mentorship and opportunity to begin to put themselves in an ownership position within time. So
I love that.
That's what I want to do.
God, wow. I feel like we just got so humanitarian, and now we all have to kind of straighten our ties, tuck in our pants and everything. Be like,
You guys,
now we're adulting.
No, never. We're still
No, we're not. Of course we're not.
No, we're not.
No. How about you, Brittanny?
It's a very good question. Obviously, I have 4 restaurants right now. I'm very happy with them. They do well. I've been incredibly lucky for them all to survive and thrive during COVID. I think COVID really changed my life a lot. Obviously I went on the show, which I wouldn't have done if it wasn't COVID. It really forced me to think a lot about what I want to do. And right now I have more opportunity than I've ever had in my life. Being a woman chef and owner, I feel like a lot of times I get overlooked for gigs like consulting or growth opportunities or large business guys kind of want to hang with other business guys, but
Totally.
Now that's changing for me. And I'm finally getting the phone calls. I'm finally getting asked to do the big projects that scare the shit out of me. And I decided I'm just going to lean in this year. I decided that I don't know that opportunity is going to last forever, so I'm just going to go for it and do the shit that scares the fuck out of me. That's my goal.
I love it. Wow. I feel like I need that on a shirt. I'm not going to lie. Do the shit that scares the fuck out of you. I'm in.
Shit that scares the fuck out of you. Actually, Kiki told me, she said, don't let, or maybe it was your husband, maybe Rob told me, but said, don't talk yourself out of anything. Let other people talk you out of stuff. And so I'm trying to remember that and do that and just really go for it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we're going to need a follow-up phone call with just the 4 of us. Because my curiosity meter is
It's peaked.
Everyone's doing some heavy shit. I like it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe Brittanny, maybe you and I have a one-on-one call and we can release some of that too. And the other 3 can listen in to episode number 186 of the Coarse Grind Podcast. Roscoe, talk to me, brother. 5-year.
Let's do 2, 5, 10.
2, 5, 10. Love it.
2, 5, 10 on one. 3 things that hold on. Also, I love you guys.
I love you.
2510. 3 things that I care about. Number 1 is making sure my kids have good grades. That's very fucking
Amen.
important.
Amen.
Because I had horrible grades. It's not because I was fucking off, but I just wanted to be smart. And then I want to own something. I don't know what. I've never had it. Like, I never owned anything. I owned a record store once, but that was a record store. Maybe I'll do that again. I don't fucking know. I want to own something, and for the first time also, I've done a lot of heavy lifting to get to where I'm at, but losing Top Chef, or whatever the fuck we did, and like hanging out and got me really back into cooking, and like I'm at a better level with cooking like private dinners now than I've ever seen in my career. And that shit feels good. And it's bringing me a lot more opportunity, mixing both. And in a weird way, I don't know, I'm sure being on Top Chef helped, but I actually think it actually just fucking was right timing. Like, I actually just think, like, you work hard and sometimes you get shit. Did you try that? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, because I don't think anybody from fucking Bravo besides you motherfuckers, and everyone else has to do it with these fuck. Damn. So yeah, that's where I'm at. 2510.
I love that. I love every single bit of that, and I love every single one of you. Like, fantastic, and obviously from the podcast, only continued success. A couple last minute after questions, light level, no impact. No one's been injured in 174 episodes. I don't see it happening tonight, but who knows? We could get lucky. We're gonna go around the room. You and I, collectively, one-on-one, are cooking together in your kitchen. What music am I listening to? I'm going to shift it over to Kiki first. Go. Because I saw her finger wag first. She knew right away. She's like...
You know, honestly, I was between 2, but my gut is Otis Redding.
Yeah. Oh.
That's relaxing. That's
yeah.
It's the vibe. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Love it. Love it. Next, Sasha, go. Who are we listening to?
Marvin Gaye, all day, every day.
My God. No wonder y'all like each other. Jesus Christ.
I get all sexual when I'm cooking, man. Come on.
Aggression at all.
You feel your food, you put the love in it, you know?
I love that. Roscoe, who are we listening to, buddy?
This week, Freddie Gibbs, because he's coming to town.
Gibbs.
Nice.
I know you're going to say that.
Freddie Gibbs is my celebrity pass.
Whoa!
No, really?
Tea spilled.
Oh, girl.
Of course she dropped it.
Yeah, she did. Tea has been spilled. Brittany, how about you?
You know, we are probably listening to, like right now, what am I listening to a lot of in the kitchen? That stupid song is like, got a vibe, Mariana Riera. So I play it way too much. But no, we're listening to like Anita Baker. That's the Eliminators theme song.
Okay.
So we all like brought out the chill vibes for our cooking hangout.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Have you heard that in a restaurant? You ever heard Anita Baker in a restaurant?
Like on the playlist?
Yeah.
No.
See? We need to do this.
Yeah.
All right.
Dinner.
So I think...
So we're going to start a restaurant. That's our 10-year plan, guys.
I think what I'm hearing is...
2510.
2510. The Eliminators are coming to Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, and it's going to be an Anita Baker night on the overhead. So... I love it. It's so good. It's so good. All right. Next question in the after section, I'm going to kick over to Brittany first. I'm going to drop you on a deserted island. You can only have 3 foods or food type items with you on the island. Inexhaustible supply. Never runs out, but only 3.
Wait, say again. What never runs out?
Okay. Any of the food items, they don't run out. They're inexhaustible. Okay. But you can only take 3 things with you. What would they be and why?
Okay, they would be Triscuits.
Ooh.
And
damn it! I like
cheese,
that. Whoa! Yes. Why wouldn't you?
And
Triscuits, cheese, and
It's hard.
I kind of fucked up though on the Triscuits, but whatever, we're going with it. And then like pork. Yeah.
Love it.
Pork?
Yeah.
Some pork product. I got you.
Pork product.
You know, cheese and crackers are like my favorite snack, so I would want to eat that.
Pork product. Now, Roscoe, I'm going to throw it over to you, and rest assured, I'm going to do homework tonight and make sure it aligns with your original answers. 3 food items.
3 food items that I've taken to a deserted island.
Yep.
Fuck. What am
It's
I
hard.
eating lately? Rice, obviously. Shit. I'm taking this orange wine stuff right now. I like the orange wine.
It's good contact.
So rice and orange wine.
Rice and orange wine.
Delicious.
It sounds like a bad country song. Rice and orange wine.
I really want crab. Crab with
And crab.
There you go.
Fuck yeah,
It'll
Rob.
be there, right?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's
I
good.
eat there.
Why
It's
wouldn't
like
you?
a party with Anita Baker. Also, yes.
With Anita
Yes.
Baker. There you go. Anita Baker has to be there, apparently.
All 3 answers. Anita Baker.
There you go. Sasha, what about you?
Can I catch fish while I'm there?
Absolutely.
So does that count as one of my 3?
Not if you catch them.
Oh.
Okay. So anything, like, coconuts and fish are catchable.
They're all kind of there. Sure. Catchable on your head if you're not careful. So.
Pop a couple of coconuts.
Yeah.
We're gonna be good. So then I would take sour cream,
Ooh.
Ruffles, and caviar because
Fuck yes.
Fuck.
you're stuck on a desert island. Now I don't know.
You're going to chill out. Yeah.
Great answer.
I
Good
give up.
answer.
I give up. I don't know that you can go beyond that.
I would eat
God,
that right now.
that's
Yeah.
luscious. That's luscious. How about you, Kiki?
Ditto Sasha.
Yo, girl, you can be on my island too. Let's do it.
I know, let's do this.
Oh my
Shit.
God, I cannot wait, and I can't wait to interview you individually because it's gonna be like, oh yeah, by the way, that answer that was bullshit. Let me tell you what I really meant. It'll be something completely different.
No, it was good.
Oh, that is a
was a
strong
full
answer. Not gonna
meal.
lie.
So my first thought was eggs, because I literally could eat eggs all the time for every meal, forever in my life.
Mhm.
Wow.
And then my next thought was bread. Give me sourdough, just like forever
Yeah,
in
that
life.
sounds good.
That's strong.
Yeah. And then, do beverages count? Because Roscoe said orange wine.
I
and
may-
that had me
yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
He's
Go
bringing the
beverages.
bubbles.
Go bevies.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
give me-
champagne.
Yeah, give me endless Prosecco.
Yeah.
Oh, goddamn
Yeah.
right.
Or like a little cava, just anything bubbly. I'm happy. I'm happy.
Opener?
I can.
Opener?
There you
It's
go.
just an opener. This is an opener. It's between that and coffee, and I'm going for the bubbles. So,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
love.
I feel fancy.
Oh, I love every single bit of that. Every single bit of that. And
That's a good one.
I'll tell you what, you have all been amazing. I have one last question, and it is the simplest and yet most complex question. What is food to you in a single word? And I will start with Roscoe because you've answered this before. You get the least amount of reaction time.
I don't remember. What does food mean to me?
What is food to you in a single word?
Oh, community.
Love it. I actually think that's what you said. I'm not going to lie. I'm
really?
going to have to look, but that sounds about right, actually. Good on you. Good on you. How about you, Sasha?
Ooh. You guys. So good. I fucking love you.
Love you back.
Damn straight.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Sasha, I'm sorry, I didn't catch it. Food to you in a single word.
Oh, you didn't catch what I said.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I said hope.
Oh, I love that. Love that. Absolutely. I blame Apple. Perfect. How about you, Kiki? I'm actually working down the pictures now. I'm going in a zigzag pattern.
So I'm going with my first thought, which is love.
Love it. Absolutely. And how about you, Brittany?
I feel like we just made like a live, laugh, love chart, but I'm gonna say
God damn it. No! It's the last thing I wanted to
family,
do.
because like it brings us all together, and it makes it makes us feel like we're part of each other.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Man, I, four of you, four of my faves, four who were my faves from Portland, in one room, one night only, people. Pay attention. The Eliminators, live on stage. Here they were. I cannot thank the four of you enough. Roscoe, thanks for coming back. Sasha, Brittanny, Kiki, thanks for coming. I really want to reach out. I would love to delve deeper into your story. More to come on that. Let's talk plugs here real quick. I know all four of you are active on the Instagram. Roscoe, Kiki, Brittanny, and Sasha. Roscoe, they can find you at Post Office Pies. Kiki, where can they find you?
You can do www.kikilouya.com. That's Louya.
I love that. Love that. KikiLouya.com. By the way, it is a brilliantly designed site. We do sites, very, very part-time as part of our LLC. And I came onto the site and I'm like, that is a beautiful site. I'm not going to lie. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Both available on Insta and Facebook. KikiLouya.com. Brittanny, over to you. Obviously on the Instagram. Obviously Metzger Bar and Butchery, Brenner Pass, Black Lodge. Talk to me.
Yeah, you can find me in Richmond at Black Lodge or Metzger or Brenner, and in DC at Lenny. And on Instagram, I'm Brittanny with the 2 N's. And I post far too frequently on there. So
I love it. I love it. Not too far, not too frequently. And I'm not gonna lie, everything that I've typed all throughout the past 48 hours, I'm like paying attention to the double N because I'm Sean SHAWN, and I'm like, don't you dare spell that shit SEAN. I will find you. I will find you. And finally, Sasha, talk to us. What do you got going on?
Well, you can find me on the gram.
Gram.
The Fierce Chef and Sasha's Focaccia. And then you can shoot me a little message from my website at www.thefiercechef.org.
.org.
Because apparently there is somebody else out there with my name.
That's crazy. Now, as a web guy, do you want me to find them? Do you want me to take care of them for you? Or I can do that.
Yes. No.
Wink, wink. No.
That might be advertising the fact that I'm like, well, I'm ready to find them. No, awesome. Fantastic. Thefiercechef.org. If you're interested in the focaccia, which why wouldn't you be, / Sasha's Focaccia, one word. I'm looking at it right now and I'm like, cannot focus, must eat the breads. So there you have it, folks. Four of the most illustrious, amazing, and just human contestants to ever compete on Top Chef. Roscoe, Kiki, Brittanny, Sasha, thank you so much for being a part of this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
This is fun.
I appreciate that so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode number 175 of the Coarse Grind Podcast. With me, the illustrious Quattro of the Eliminators. Our producer, as always, has been the lovely, voluptuous Johnny Leland Robinson, a.k.a. the Reverend Johnny Lamoria. Be sure to check out everything he's got going on the socials. And the next episode, after this, who knows? I just interviewed 4 people in one sitting. I have no idea where I am right now. So stay tuned.
Retour aux sources pour se régénérer. Retour aux sources, avance vers le passé. Retour aux sources, batterie rechargée. Retour aux sources, enfin tout recommencer.
Are you passing through Central Pennsylvania and looking for one of the best dining experiences and craft brew menus around? Look no further. Turkey Hill Brewing Company and 991 Central Road in Bloomsburg, PA has everything you could ask for and then some. Service, food, beer together. Unbelievable. Be sure to check them out. Call them today for reservations. 570-387-8422. Call today.